I'm going to show you how to make adorable winter decor, and I've got a couple really good techniques. I'm using a wood round and a wood-shaped snowflake sign I got from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a marine blue. This is folk art chalk paint. I'm going to make sure I mix it up really well. And I'm going to cover the entire snowflake, and I'm going to use a sponge pouncer. Now, this is a really good tip because you're able to spread the paint out on a large surface very quickly, and it really gives good coverage. Now, in this video, I'm not only going to show you how to make this sign, but I've got two really good techniques. Wait till you see that will definitely give this a real winter vibe. All right, when I'm done, I'm just going to give that a little bit of time to dry, and I'm going to move on to the next step. This is Rust-Oleum white chalky paint, and I'm going to use my sponge pouncer, and I'm going to apply the white paint exactly like I did with the snowflake. I love the technique of putting the paint on with the sponge pouncer, so I want to give a shout out to Chalk It Up Fancy. That's where I learned how to do this. Now I'm going to let that dry. Now that the sign is dry, I'm going to give it a coat of Mod Podge. I buy big bottles, and I put them into little bottles. You can get those little bottles at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to make sure that this wood round is well coated with the Mod Podge. I'm even going to go in two different directions and make sure that Mod Podge goes right up to the edge. I'm picking a napkin from my friends at Vippies Designs, www.vippies.com, and I decided on this snowman napkin, and look, there are 4 different designs on the napkin. Now, I'm only going to need 1 square, so I'm going to put the rest off to the side. I'm going to separate the napkin because with decoupage, we only use that top sheer printed ply. And I'm going to be using the iron-on technique. The Mod Podge is completely dry. So now, because I can see through that sheer napkin, I can place it perfectly on top of the wood round. And I'm going to hold it down with my hand, put a piece of baking parchment on top, and here is my Cricut iron. I'm going over the napkin, and what's going on? The glue is melting and the napkin is adhering perfectly. The iron-on technique, the first time I did a video was back in 2018. So I was so happy to pass this on to so many of my crafting friends. I'm going to let it cool, and now I'm going to remove that extra napkin. I'm going to use my finger sander. That little piece of sandpaper can be changed once it wears out. I love this. I'd highly recommend it. And I'm using a downward stroke, and as you can see, it is cleanly removing that extra napkin. I'm going to hold it up because I want you to see how cute this is already. Oh, I love it. Look how cute that little birdie is. Now that the snowflake is dry, I'm going to take my finger sander once again, and I'm going to go all the way around the edge, and by doing this, I'm removing some of the paint, and this is going to give it a nice vintage vibe. So I'm going to go around the edge of the snowflake, and I'm also going to go in and do a little bit more on the rest of the blue paint, again, just to give it a nice vintage vibe. I hope that you can see the edge. Now I'm going to wipe it off, get off some of that dust, and I'm going to take a sponge, a kitchen sponge. It has 2 different sides. I'm going to use the scouring side. This is white chalk paint. I'm going to take the sponge, again, on the scouring side. I'm going to dip it into the paint. And then I'm going to pounce it off because I don't want it to have too much paint in it. Wait till you see this. I am going to apply the white paint in one direction. Look at that effect I'm getting. This is really going to give this snowflake not only a vintage vibe, but it now has kind of that frosty look that you would want if you were going to be doing something with a snowman. So again, I'm just going to go in one direction. I'm going to pounce off some of that paint. I'm going to go all the way around. And this is what you can do. Do as little or as much as you want. I love this technique. It does such a great job. And it is so easy. Take a look at that. Now I'm going to let the snowflake dry. I put a little piece of rope through the hole on the top. That's how I'm going to hang it. And now I'm going to take the snowman wood round. It's so cute. I love the snowman with the little birdie. I'm going to take hot glue and I'm going to apply it on the back of the wood round. I'll make sure I get enough on there. Then I'm going to turn it over and I want to place the snowman in the center of the snowflake, and I got a little bit of time to move it around to make sure I've got it in the right spot. Then I'm going to press it down with my hands until it's well adhered. Okay, I'm going to move it down because I want to do a little bit of embellishing, and I already made this silver bow, which goes perfect with that faux finish and the snowman. I'm going to put it right there on the top, and I used a little bit of hot glue. Press it down to make sure it's going to be well adhered. Then I have a little snowflake. It's a wood snowflake. I got that from the Dollar Tree. I painted it blue. I add some pearls. Now I'm going to attach it to the middle of the ribbon using a little bit of hot glue. I think that snowflake and bow were a nice added touch. I'm going to hold this up so that you can see. First of all, that napkin is adorable. That's from Vippies Designs, www.vippies.com. Look at that faux finish. It was so easy. Even if you're a beginner, you can definitely do this. And if you've never done the iron-on technique, that is definitely something you want to try. If you're new to my channel, I want to say welcome. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Decoupage D.I.Y. with Joan-Marie Domino. You can also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. And I want to say welcome back to my returning viewers. This is such a cute project, and I love how that faux finish gives it a nice frosty look.